Well, the Nigeria Police Force has linked investigative journalist David Hundeyin and Michael Alade to Isaac Bristol, the alleged by authorities to be Pidomnigeria, in a cybercrime case involving the leak of classified documents, fraud, sedition, and tax evasion. Well, Force spokesperson Muyiwa Adejobi confirmed that Bristol's arrest followed a petition from the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. And he also said that during the arrest, Bristol allegedly resisted. He destroyed his phone and obstructed the investigation by refusing to provide his phone's password. Adejobi claimed that Bristol raised funds anonymously for cyber terrorism, and ongoing efforts are being made to trace David Hundeyin and Alade in connection with the case as well. Meanwhile, Isaac Taminobiefire Bristol also alleged that a deputy director of the National Cybercrime Center, NCCC, sprayed a toxic substance into his cell, leading to severe health issues. Well, the picture on your screen is that of David Hundeyin. He also did say that he's had difficulty breathing. Well, Bristol also claimed that while in police custody, an attempt was made to inject him with an unknown substance. Now, these allegations are coming after his remand at Kuje Prison, which is pending a written bail application. And they've also raised serious concerns about his well-being and potential attempts on his life by security agencies, allegedly. Well, we have joining us in the studio, Barrister Darlington Akumo. Welcome to the conversation, Barrister. Good morning to you.
Moses, good morning. Good morning. Is this news are disturbing?
Disturbing news indeed, and you just shared one with us. Well, we'll talk about that one also in the course of the conversation. We'll have joining us virtually Barrister Henry Ekine, who is a human rights lawyer. He'll be joining the conversation in good time. Well, Barrister.
Yes.
Looking at the conversation, first off, the news we came up with this morning. We need our listeners to be aware of things happening. You did say that there's been unrest in your village.
Yeah.
What exactly is going on? And let's have the name of your village as well.
Yes. Precisely Obo, the police station at Otokobo was set on fire.
And that is where?
That is in Imo State.
Okay.
Was set on fire this morning by, I think, 5 minutes to 7 or so. Yes.
This morning, the 4th of September.
Yes, they called me this morning to relay the news. And these unknown gunmen are moving from house to house in my village, that they don't want to see any policeman. Looking for any house where they see a policeman, the person is a dead person. Already, yesterday, they shot one person, one police officer, who is living in one of the houses where nurses are staying.
Oh my.
Even the nursing students were all beaten black and blue. And
by these unknown gunmen.
I said in my village, Umulogo Bow, to be precise. Umulogo Bow. As I'm talking to you now, all the policemen at that police station, they are all hiding in the bush.
Now, your people, your family members that called you to inform you of this, did they give you a reason to why this is happening?
My brother.
Or what can we allude this new development to?
Have they ever given you any reason? They have seen police as their enemy. Even though some of those policemen are Igbo people. They are Igbo people, their own brothers. Just because they are wearing a federal government uniform, they are not a target. I said they shot one person yesterday inside his house.
And a police officer. And this morning, they burned
the police Otoko police station. This is not the first time. They've done it before.
Unfortunate one.
They've done it the first one. When they did it at Mbano area command, the area commander now relocated to Otoko. That's where their command is now. The area commander was living in my own house before he retired.
Okay.
But
Today now they have gone.
thing. I know that this information you have now, you still have, it's still very sketchy, you know. You have just been called this morning to be informed about this. But apart from this, there is also a sudden spike in insecurity in Imo State. You know, does it have anything to do with the referendum conducted by Simon Ekpa ahead of the
October declaration? In fact, these are things that I'm beginning to, you know, conspiracy theory. But if you ask me, this is not the first time they have gone after the police. You know, these unknown gunmen, they have always seen police as their enemy for reasons best known to them. They have not come out to tell us.
Can the residents identify some of these people? Do we know where they are from? These unknown gunmen.
How can it be? Even if you know, are you going to talk? Hold on. Do you know what it means for you to go and identify any of them? By the way, who will you identify them to? Is it the police? Is it at 7.5 junction? They met some policemen. One of the policemen was on special duty there, and one of them was living in my house. He came back and said that while they were there, these boys came and said that they should all vacate from there.
So it's very clear that the security, the police, especially in Imo State, have been overwhelmed by the unknown gunmen.
It is not quite obvious. This is not the first time they are burning police station. The only one that is serving the local government, that Otoko. I said both the normal police station and the area command are in that place. Now they have set it on fire. And while the thing was burning, they were dancing. They were dancing and celebrating.
Quite an unfortunate one. But we do expect to see reports from there to corroborate,
even to validate. Yes, because nobody can joke with such an information.
Oh, well, now let's get into today's conversation now. We're talking about alleged human rights violation, all right? Bristol, who has been alleged to be the face behind the handle Pidomnigeria, is speaking out from detention that his life is at risk. A certain substance was sprayed into his cell, and also they tried to inject him with something. What does this portend? Seeing that this person is supposedly should ordinarily be allowed to get his bail condition sorted out. What does this portend really for democracy?
Moses, I said something on the radio platform. That was last month or so. And I made reference to what happened to Hitler and how he started. You see, when a dictatorial government is being built up, some of these things, you will see it will be glaring to everybody. But those who want to pretend about it, they will say it doesn't matter. We are no longer in a democracy the way things are. Even a military regime is becoming better from the way I'm looking at things.
But yes, Barrister, I like the fact that you mentioned military regime now, because it seems that we had a more vibrant civil society during the military era. And all of a sudden, we seem to have only one seraph that is talking. You know, so what do you think that the civil society organizations in Nigeria have been cowed?
My brother, they've been bought over. That is as simple as
bought
that.
Over?
They've been bought over.
Intimidated?
No, they've been bought over because this same civil society, they fought the military with all their brutality, both Abacha and Babangida.
Is there any evidence to the claim that they are being bought over?
Will they come out and tell you? All those people who said save Nigeria, all of them are alive today. Why are they not saving Nigeria when it is not needed most? Are they all of them not alive? What are they doing? This infamy, 1/4 of it did not happen when they went to Ojota. 1/4 of what happened before they went, it did not happen. Now look at what is going on. Are we going to wait until the thing now become unmanageable? Are we not supposed to start now? Because I have always believed that you chase a black sheep in the daytime before it becomes nightfall. Now this thing is creeping in. And you know very well that any dictator, the first person they attack is the journalist. That is the first. Go and watch how Hitler started. He went after the press to make sure that Nobody writes about him. Nobody talks about him. Nobody tells the public about him. It has started now, and we are all looking at it.
So, are we seeing that happen? Is that what this action by the government is pointing towards now? Is that what it's pointing towards?
Can't you see that ordinary protest is not reasonable felony?
Now, we have a situation whereby over 2,000 people have been arrested from the End Hunger, End Bad Governance protest that happened last month. Now, according to information, these individuals are being arraigned or are going to be arraigned without having legal representation. They haven't been given an opportunity to contact lawyers. Some of them, their family members don't even have access to them. Is this? What does the law say to this in terms of human rights? Is this a violation, or can this be excused on the premise of national security?
It cannot be. It cannot be, Moses. The law says that you cannot detain a man beyond 48 hours without taking him to court. And
even when the government has concluded that this person is a clear threat to national security.
No, it's not enough for you. You cannot decide, for God's sake. That's one of the mistakes we make. You cannot decide. Let the court to decide that this man has committed this offense and is a threat to national security. Are you telling me now that if the government now release you on the road, this man, you are a threat to national security, a DSS, police, or take him inside cell? You now say because the government says so, therefore it is so. No. That's not what the law says. You have to take him to court. Let him speak his mind with his lawyer.
But the government has taken him to court. He's in court now.
Is the matter decided for you to now decide that he's a threat to national security? Have the matter been canvassed?
No, the government feels.
No.
The Attorney General feels, and that's why he has gone to court.
Remove that feel. Remove it. Remove that.
Okay, he thinks. That's why they have gone.
Even at that, you are not.
That's why the government has gone to court.
No, they went to court because they want to silence some people. Were you not here when they took Ajero? Is it not the same reasonable felony? All of a sudden, the thing now turned to intimidation, conduct likely, breach of peace.
So, Barrister Darlington, I would like for us to get some few things clear.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, this young man put out information through whistleblowing, and the government feels strongly that it has violated or that his actions are capable of threatening national security. And they took him in. You can condemn the method of arrest and all of that, but eventually he has been taken to court. Do you still fault the government for taking him to court?
I do.
At least the government is not holding him incommunicado.
No.
He's been taken to court. He has access to lawyers.
I do, because the charge has nothing to do with treasonable felony. In what way? Do you know what it means for you to be charged with treasonable felony?
Okay, what of subversion? Subversion.
It is not. It is still not. Because this is a journalist. Remember, they are not supposed to tell you their source of information. No journalist does that. That's what the law protects them from doing that. So how can you say that a journalist put out? If it is a falsehood, Mr. Okoro, it can only become a problem to government if what you are spreading is falsehood. But if the information you are putting out is real, then what is the crime?
What do you make of this individual, Pidomnigeria, now destroying his mobile phone, destroying what is supposed to be evidence, and refusing to give password to his phone, giving access to security agencies to go through
the law does not permit you. The law does not even permit you to search my phone. Under what guise? You are not supposed to. You are not supposed to. It is my personal property. You can't do that on your own. Say you are looking for evidence. Go and search for it now. The evidence is not on my private phone. It's not. The court did not say you should do that. You cannot be doing your investigation on my phone. On my phone.
Barrister, you mean the police have no right to search your phone, even with a court warrant?
They have no right, except the court to say so. No warrant. The court warrant did not say that you must search. No. It must be canvassed in the open court. It is there that the court will now say, okay, I authorize you to go and look inside his phone. This is a warrant to arrest him, not to arrest his phone. Can't you see it? The court did not give any warrant. Go to his house and arrest his phone. No court can give such order. I'm telling you.
Okay. Okay, Barrister Darlington, you are very familiar with the Pidom case. You are very familiar with the government the police have declared Hundeyin, Hundeyin and Alade wanted.
David Hundeyin, yes.
In connection with the Pidom case and said they are accomplices.
Oh my God.
The government is breathing down on NLC through the president. I think they've invited him again on the 5th or...
That's tomorrow now. That's tomorrow. He's going
and you know that the organizers of the End Bad Governance protest, they are regrouping. Sowore put out a statement the other day that October 1 is the day. Barrister Darlington, in the light of expectations of what will happen in October 1 and government's perceived attempt to clamp down on journalists and the civil society organizations, whistleblowers and all of that, do you see, and in the midst of suffering, increased suffering on the part of Nigerians, do you see Nigerians coming out in October 1 to protest against hunger, insecurity and all of that?
Thank you, Mr. Okoro. You will see that the government is unwittingly calling for what they want to avoid. Unwittingly, the government is calling for revolution among the people. Because by the time they escalate this thing, start arresting anybody who now says something, what do you think will happen? The public will rise up. And of course, the rest will be history. So what we are advising government now is to let them slow down. Oh. Moses, let this particular government slow down, because when they were in opposition, they said worse things under Jonathan, yet the man did not arrest anybody. I don't know why they are now afraid of opposition. I don't know why.
So what the government is saying is these individuals, Pidomnigeria, David Hundeyin, Alade, and a few others, including, this might not be linked, but including Andrew Wine, plotting to topple this administration.
In what way?
The protest, since we're talking in line of protest now, the protest that was, that Nigerians had in August, from August 1st to 10th, was aimed at toppling this administration. What do you make of that allegation?
My brother, I have told you, when you want
this is coming on the heels of the man in question, actually, Andrew Wine, saying from wherever he is that he will be most elated to talk to security agencies, that he's not aware that he's been looked for.
The man is even telling you that his problem started with one Yoruba man who is owing him money and he didn't want to pay. He was the one that went to go and start all this propaganda.
Can we not bring tribe into it?
No, yeah.
It problem started from an individual owing him money.
An individual. Okay, they mentioned the name actually.
Okay,
and that was where the problem started. So what I'm not saying in essence is that when you see this argument being put up, this man said he had been here for 25 years. He had been here for 25 years, and up till now, what you are hearing is government side. We have not heard from the man. The matter has not been counted. Look, if our security agencies know their own news, Moses, they would have finished their underground investigation. They don't even need to start all this thing. The day they will go and pick this man, they will present him in court and then read all the charges. And then the matter will start. But look at what is going on now. They started with NLC president.
No, you don't think, or don't you think that it was in the heat of the moment they went after evidence, what led them to the NLC house, second floor, where the bookshop is located, to get evidence before knowing who to chase after, before they decided to chase after
you can
Andrew
see
himself.
They said they made a mistake with NLC. They said it. And that was why when the man showed up, they didn't even do anything with him. They just had a chat and the man left. So if they were sure of what they were looking for, why did you put out all that, all that announcement, all that bravado over NLC? Look at the hoopla the thing generated up to ILO. They got involved in that matter. At the end of the day, we discovered that it was nothing. Moses, how do you look at that? Look at all the noise they made about. That's what I'm telling you.
Do you think nothing was found, or the actions of labor of the union and international organizations prevented the security agencies from going further with that?
Please, if there was a strong evidence against Ajero, my dear, nobody on earth will stop them from moving ahead against him. Nobody. If there was a single evidence against Ajero, he would not be walking about now. I'm telling you. As a matter of fact, they told him that it was a mistaken identity, that they went to second house. Somebody mentioned...
What does that say to intelligence report?
My brother,
the gathering of
I am telling you. Now, out of shame, listen very well. Out of shame, they now say that they are inviting him again tomorrow. That they are now, the charge now is against intimidation, conduct likely, breach of peace. Just because the man came with his members and they said that he came to intimidate the police. What kind of thing is this, for God's sake?
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that our security agents, they need to go back to school. That's all. They need to go back to school.
All right, Barrister Darlington, in the midst of everything that is happening, why is it difficult for Nigerians to see that the present government is working very hard to change the fortunes of Nigerians? As we speak, our president is in China. And he's going to sign memorandum of understanding with Chinese government, with private companies. As we speak, there's a delegation, Nigerian delegation, attending the Indonesia-Africa Forum. There are other efforts. The president has said, I hear you loud and clear, but please, we are working. He says he is a reformer, that he's making reforms to ensure that he rejigs the economy. Barrister Darlington, why is it difficult for Nigerians to see that, look, things might be difficult now, but that there is a light at the end of the tunnel? Don't you see the light?
There is no light. There is no tunnel, not to talk of light. Mr. Okoro, there is no... Oh, yeah, show me one. All the policies of Buhari, Tinubu, has it not been reversing all of them? Look at the fuel subsidy is gone. Is that not what we are battling up to today? Fuel subsidy is gone. And they read out all we are going to benefit from that fuel subsidy removal. Moses and Mr. Okoro, have you experienced any of those benefits? The answer is capital.
No, but Darlington, you agree with me that it has to get tough before it gets better. That is what we're experiencing now.
After 9 years in office, Mr. Okoro, what are you saying?
He's been in office for just 15 months.
No. There is no difference between Buhari and Tinubu. It is the same APC to APC. Please don't separate.
No. Let's talk about the individual president. We have a president who is working very hard. The other day he was in Equatorial Guinea. The other time he was in France. Currently, he is in China. And I said, a delegation of Nigerian government is in Bali, in Indonesia.
Oh my God.
Holding discussions.
Over what? To come and do what?
How to bring in foreign partners to come and help us in power sector, in agriculture, and all of that.
You don't think the president is working hard enough?
Is this not funny? Please, for God's sake, how many times have Tinubu traveled since last year to go and bring investors that did not come? What are you telling me? How many times will you be deceived?
You cannot say that the Nigerian Economic Summit Group also said that the economy grew by a certain percentage in the first quarter of this year.
They said in the service sector, where they are extorting money from you, is your industry, are they working?
Whether in the service sector, but at least there was an increase.
It's pepper.
In growth, there was an improvement.
You can't actually
even
say
the GDP.
Hold on.
In the second quarter, there was an improvement in the GDP.
Okay, where is the impact on your economy?
No, but these things will trickle in piecemeals. That is my concern. Why is it? Can't we? Is it that we are complaining a lot? Can't we give this man chance to?
We are not complaining. We are only voicing out our displeasure over the policies of government.
You did say that his traveling around the world has not amounted to anything. But we hear that Emirates is coming back to Nigeria. Emirates Airline will start flying very soon, actually.
Are you serious? What are they coming to do? To come and take your money?
Of course, they're coming to do business.
Which business?
To fly.
To fly.
To fly?
Yes.
Or to fly you
They'll
to
pay taxes.
Hold on.
Don't they pay taxes?
How much taxes?
Don't they employ Nigerians?
What they will take out of Nigeria is not up to 1/3 of what we are getting from them.
No, but at least they will bring something.
What is this?
They are going to employ Nigerians, the people that were laid off will come back.
Okay, have they even come back in the first place?
No, they are coming back. There's an agreement.
Oh my God. Mr. Okoro, please, this agreement...
Barrister Darlington, these things happen in piecemeal.
Are you serious?
You don't expect
Don't you believe? What are your thoughts now? Don't you think the actions of the president is leading towards salvation of Nigeria's economy? Is it not a step in the right direction?
He is fighting to protect his office. That is why all these arrests and all these charges are going on right, left, and center. A government that is working does not need to go through this route. If you are working, my dear, nobody will criticize you in a way that warrant all these arrests. The evidence will be there. Nobody will have, even people, when they want to criticize, will be asking themselves, why am I doing this? That's the first question you ask you. But look at how things are. Is it getting better? You are the petroleum minister. You told us that you are going to do this and that. Up to now, we have not seen one single thing out of what you promised us since last year. And you are saying people should not protest. People should not cry out. And you are telling me here that he's making, with effort.
Barrister Darlington,
all the travels, what have you gained from it?
Let me ask you. You are familiar with Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. You are familiar with his story.
Yes.
Lee Kuan Yew on his own said, look, I am not a Democrat. He admitted that he did certain things to move the economy forward. Yes. But in 1965, when he became the Prime Minister of Singapore, several companies left Singapore to Malaysia.
Good.
But within 2-3 years, they saw improvements in the economy.
Good.
The figures started rising. Inflation started dropping.
Thank you.
And this man, in all his books, acknowledged the fact that he was a mild autocrat.
Yes.
That he had to lock up people, you know, because he felt that they were disturbing the economic growth. They were causing tension in the society. And within 30 years, this man was able to build Singapore from a backward country to a first world country, one of the best economies in the world.
Good.
So I'm saying this in the light of the fact that, look, things have to get worse before they get better. And so don't you think that our president is also towing the same line by all these reforms, that people have to suffer? That we also hear that Nigerians pay the least price in fuel all around the world.
Good.
That even at 1,400, that we are still very lucky to pay that amount of money compared to other countries.
Thank you very much. I thank you for taking me this route. Now, let me educate you. You don't compare apple and orange just because they are fruits. No. Lee Kuan Yew, you are talking about, what does Singapore have as mineral resources? Do they have oil? The answer is no. The mineral resources that God has blessed you and I in this country today, no African country have it. We can only be comparing notes with the Congo, where some people want to break out of jail. This is the only country that you can compare. South Africa, do they have oil? The answer is no. The man you are comparing yourself with, he was very, very focused. He was sincere with his people. That was why he did what he did. And people followed him. How do you follow a man who is only after extravagant lifestyle? Spending money anyhow. The Lee Kuan Yew you are talking, did he come to Nigeria to seek for any help? He grew that economy. Within that economy, within that country.
He went to Europe to seek for help. He went to the United States.
Hold on, please. Before you make reference to such things, I am asking you, this man you are talking about here, was he not focused? Do they have anything that you can say, okay, how can you say Nigeria, after 64 years independence, we are still at this level? After 10 years,
Professor Darlington, you don't want to believe that the current president is the cause of Nigeria's problems. All the problems that have bedeviled Nigeria. He's just been there in 15 months and he's making desperate efforts.
Oh my God. Mr. Okoro, please, where are you going with this argument? You know it's not working. No, because it's not working because let me tell you, one of the reasons for continuity is so that you can, your program can continue without any
would like for you to hold on to your thoughts now. As we take
Tinubu
this
told
call,
us he was coming to continue from where Buhari stopped.
We have a caller. Let's take this call. From
go ahead.
Good morning.
What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
My name is Alade. I'm calling from Hundeyin.
I didn't get that.
My name is Olabi. I'm calling from United.
Olabi. All right, go ahead.
Yes.
You have a minute. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna waste much of your time. I just want to say just a few things. I'm directing my words to the man with the glasses, the man with blue suit. I'm directing my words to the man that says people have to get worse before things have to get worse before it gets better. He's ashamed of himself. Is, to me, I think it doesn't represent a good Nigeria. So people die. A lot of people have to die before things get better. Is that what he's trying to say?
Olabi,
That's it. It's okay.
Olabi.
Thank you.
All right then. Thank you very much, Olabi. Barrister, before you respond, you don't accuse the presenter is putting out
it's normal thing. They don't understand how this will work. Yeah, he doesn't have his own opinion. They don't understand. But
so
to me,
in some cases, it takes time for things to get better. All right, sometimes things get bad before they get better.
But Moses, please, this argument, that's why people get angry. You mean after 9 years in office that Nigerians they have not suffered enough? 9 years. Look at what we suffered on that Buhari.
It's interesting that we are counting the Buhari's tenure with that of.
He said he will continue, that he was going to consolidate, and he's doing it big time. What other excuse are you giving to him, for God's sake?
Mr. Darlington,
yes.
If Mr. Wolabi is still listening to us, I said that in the light of the fact that the current president has said, I am making reforms. I'm making reforms within the petroleum industry. I'm making reforms. I'm making reforms in the forex market to make sure that our naira to dollar exchange rate comes down. And within this period, there will have to be a little squeeze here and there. In 1986, Babangida rolled out the Structural Adjustment Program, SAP. And he told Nigerians up front, look, things are going to get tough, but we have something in mind ahead of us.
All right.
What happened after 5 years of his rule? What happened?
But even reforms, you understand that.
All right,
if
Barrister,
you make reforms,
let's move it away from.
We have not seen. Look, on a more serious note, we should not be cutting any flag for this particular president.
Barrister, nobody's cutting
because
flag.
he has disappointed. I said all the policies. Mention anyone that you can go to bank with today. At least let us catch one thing and say, yes, in this area, Tinubu is doing very well. Let us catch one thing. Now he has started with human rights. Human rights violation.
When the president said full subsidy is gone, and there was the FAC allocation grew.
Yes, it did.
And governors got more money. Some states got as much as 20 billion naira away from what they used to get. What did they do with the money?
Barrister, when you say the president is not, what is he doing? We know that he's traveling quite a lot, and most of his trips are to get foreign direct investment, to get investors into the country. Whether we have started seeing, has that started paying off or not, that's not, should we focus on the immediate, or should we look at, possible things in the future?
Moses.
Yes, Barrister.
A president that wants to solve a problem that he inherited should have started with insecurity.
So you think the president is not doing enough?
Please, as long as this insecurity is with us, Tinubu is not doing anything.
So he's traveling.
Because there is no progress.
He's traveling to get.
No investor is coming here with this insecurity. No investor is coming. That's what Cure ED. No, they will never come. Tinubu should have known that. Solve this insecurity. I told you what is going on in my village now.
Yes,
my own village, not even outside. I said the policemen in my own house in the village, they are all in the bush now. They ran away. What are you telling me? In a country, and you say you are bringing which progress? Mr. Okoro, don't even go there.
Barrister,
insecurity is so much everywhere.
Let's look at protests now. Nigerians are, trying to air their views on their grievances rather on the activities of this administration. At what point can a protest become treasonable? Because we are seeing situations whereby protesters are being accused of committing treason. Is it the flying of the flag of another country within the shores of another, within the land of another? Or is it the printing of flyers and banners for protest? What can an individual do that will amount to treasonable felony when they are trying to protest?
Good.
So we can avoid those things and maybe still protest.
Moses, do you remember when Awolowo and Jack Conde and Ajasin were accused of trying to overthrow Balewa government? That accumulated in the Wild West. Remember all the charges against Awolowo, that they were planning a coup in Ghana or so. And when they brought them here, they read out all the evidence against them and all that. At the end of the day, what's his name? Awolowo was sent to Calabar prison. Is that not true? Now, do you remember when Oka and Mama Vasa planned a coup against, what's his name? Babangida? You saw all the evidence. You saw all the military assembly. You saw all the planning, all the attack. There, the exchange of gunfire. These are solid evidence. You cannot say because somebody said something, therefore he's planning a coup. You cannot say because somebody said, I don't want what is going on, I don't like what's going on in the country, therefore he's planning a coup. Or somebody, how can that cause a coup? When you do not assemble anywhere and then conspire among yourself in a room and say we are going to carry out this thing against the federal government of Nigeria.
But Barrister Darlington, coup planning starts also at a point where a group of people come together, like 2 or 3, and start discussing the idea. And a fourth person gets to hear it and tells the military authority. At that point, they can be said to be planning a coup. Obasanjo was held. At no point did he meet with any other person.
They said he had, but he did not talk.
He had. And Dia also was roped in. What I'm trying to say is that it mustn't get to a point where, like the Okaku, where there's already exchange of gunfire between the coupists and the loyal officers.
Yes, in this case now.
We have a case where some people, in the midst of a peaceful protest, broke into government facilities, ransacked it, took away, looted, and all of that.
Is that reasonable?
There's also a story out there that some people ran into the military barrack, a cantonment or what, and called on soldiers to come and take over government.
Are you saying they were planning a coup?
No, doesn't that constitute an effort, an attempt to have a regime change forcefully by inviting the military?
Okoro, worse things have happened in the past under APC as an opposition party.
Tell us about that.
Good. South protests. This thing you are saying now, did it not happen in a worse scenario? South protests. You saw what happened. How many of them were charged for treasonable felony? How many of them? South protesters. Can you mention one person who is undergoing trial today because of South protests?
Well,
then two, hold on.
NSAS protest.
You said what?
During the NSAS protest, protesters did not appeal to the military to take over.
But you're telling me about how they broke into this place and broke into that place.
I related it with the fact that even in the course of that, some people were alleged to have ran into a military cantonment and called out soldiers to come and take over government. Does that constitute reasonable felony?
Oh my God. In fact, it does not.
Okay.
It does not. Under any guise, it does not. So how can you come in the open and say, soldiers come and take over government? Is that what you call a coup?
How do you explain that within the ambit of the law?
It is the normal protest. In the course of the protest, you can say anything, you can voice anything. I said what you are talking about here, treasonable felony, is higher and bigger than what you are saying. In the course of the protest, all those street touching. Remember very well, under the law, when you want to criminalize a person, the actus rei and the mens rea must be proved beyond reasonable doubt. That means the mental element and the physical element. You must prove that this guy intended. There is every intention that you want to carry out this thing.
All right.
If they want to carry out, will they be calling the military? Okay. Why can't they carry it out themselves?
All right.
Why can't they carry it out?
Let's get.
Were they having meeting with the military?
Let's get Barrister Henry Ekine into this conversation. Barrister Henry, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us this morning. All right, Barrister, I would like you to unmute your mic, your system, so so we can hear you. Well, we seem to be having a bit of a problem with
I can't hear
connection.
You can hear you now.
Henry. All right, so yes, Barrister Henry. Well, we're talking about events that's been happening for some time now. I'm going to pose this question to you, like the question I just asked the barrister in the studio, Barrister Darlington. What constitutes treasonable felony when it comes to protesting? All right, we've cited the possibility. I mean, a situation whereby individuals run towards the police, run towards the military, and say, "Look, come take over government because we feel you'll bring out laws in the interest of the people." Is it when people print flyers? Is it when people carry flags? Does that constitute treasonable felony? This is coming in light of the conversation around arrest of some individuals and allegations of treasonable felony, subversion, and cybercrime posed against individuals, against the government, actually.
Okay, apparently the state would always want to protect the authority at all times, and then that's why the laws are enacted, even the Criminal Code Act providing for treasonable offenses and then other related matters. However, the rights of citizens to express their views cannot be undermined, even in the guise of such substantive laws that seek to protect the state. The guaranteed rights of citizens to express themselves cannot be unwittingly or a roundabout way subjugated, really. So apparently, and this expression can be in different forms. I've taken time to, in my view, express them. It could be in writing, it could be by way of speech, it could even be by some mute. You could walk around, you could stay in a single place. So, but again, in expressing your right to freely express yourself, I mean, exercising that right to freely express yourself, you recall that it's submitted that where your right ends is where the right of another begins. And so it's not an absolute guarantee that you will infringe on other provisions of our laws. So, but on an ordinary expression of rights of citizens, I think it will be unwieldy for the state to and then find a roundabout way to conscript to them citizens or to allege citizens of treason and treasonable offenses. I do not see anything that will reasonably and justifiably amount to treason or any treasonable offense with respect to the end good governance protest that citizens carried out, except an apparent situation where there was probably willful destruction of property, which of course will be a different offense, not actually also treason, because there wasn't a clear threat or even threat of war or waging war against the state. That's an apparent situation of treason. But the circumstances that the state is advancing this argument and allegation of treason and treasonable offenses, it just appears that there is no way that citizens would have to express themselves, and then even you can challenge government. You can challenge government. I'm not sure that any Nigerian is actually palpably, in a clear way, threatening the seat of government, whether it's the president or the governor, except in circumstances that sometimes it's even state officials that do that. Make such pronouncement, and nobody goes after them.
Barrister Henry,
Yes,
let me come in here. Barrister Henry, we are looking at a situation where some group of people ran into a military barrack and asked the soldiers to come and take over government. The government is interpreting that as forceful regime change. And we want to ask, legally, does that constitute treasonable offense?
Do not, specifically in that regard too, arguably, I do not consider that to be treasonable offense. It's still a manner of expressing themselves, and then either calling on government to be responsible and act in the way that will satisfy the aspiration of citizens. Then on the other way, then approaching the military to say, look, do something about this situation we find ourselves. I would rather, the concept of treason isn't just something you imagine imagine. There should be clear, concrete action of either war or threat of war or overawing the president. That is how treason has been defined under Section 37 of the Criminal Code Act. Otherwise, it will mean some imputation of discretion or imagination of the accuser. But again, it is the court that would determine the stretch of what will amount to treason. So, let's assume that the state has assumed and alleged that that conduct will amount to treason or treasonable offense, and then they will arraign these individuals in court. It is the court that would determine whether this action has stretched to the extent of amounting to treason or treasonable offense or otherwise. But
Barrister Darlington, sorry, Barrister Henry. Away from that, you are aware that a certain Bristol is already in police custody and he was charged to court yesterday. But the young man alleged that he was poisoned twice and he just managed to survive. Looks like the government is trying to take him out. Do you think he has a case in court? Is it possible for him to go to court and say, look, this government wants to kill me? And is there a possibility that the court will, on the basis of that, set him free?
Yes, apparently, if he alleged attempt to kill him by poison and he has evidence to that effect, he could make a case. It's not also enough for him, for Isaac Bristol to allege that there were attempts to kill him while in custody of the state, and then by way of poisoning either any substance he was to consume. If he has evidence to that effect, assuming he has a sample of such maybe edible, and then he presents in court and it was tested that it contains some poison and the only source it would have come into custody would have been through the state. That could be an evidence for him. And then, but that alone, even if it was there was an attempt to kill him, and then the allegation for whatever offense he was arraigned, the state can establish that. That can establish culpability on his part. And then on the other hand, his allegation, if it's established, can also establish culpability on the part of the state. The fact that you were attempted to be killed does not exonerate you from an alleged offense. But let me take a breather on this Isaac Bristol, because I can say to you at this point very clearly, confidently, that I was in that matter.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Yes, clearly, I was in that matter. Isaac Bristol is a young man in Port
Harcourt. You were in that matter in what
capacity?
I was his counsel. I was his counsel in this same
you are his counsel.
Arrest and all that. Yes, I was.
You were or you are?
I was. I have withdrawn my service. Okay. I can say that on radio. But for personal and professional reasons. Now, this is a bit of the fact that I can give you, and it's first hand of it. The young man, of course, was arrested in Port Harcourt and then was detained in a facility in Port Harcourt. That was the anti-kidnapping unit in Port Harcourt of the Nigeria Police, and then later brought to Abuja. We got the call, the relatives of the young man got the call from the Nigeria Police Force National Cybercrime Center that he was in their custody. Because at some point, initially, relatives didn't know his whereabouts. He was picked up in his hotel room in Port Harcourt, and then there was no information about his arrest. In fact, the elder brother, when he approached my office, the first step was to even find his whereabouts. And then we advised him to go to the control room of the Nigerian Police Force, Moscow Road, the headquarters. It was in that effort that we're actually even looking for him. It took a while before the families knew that he was before the anti-kidnapping unit. And then I think that was where he sustained some form of injuries on his body, and then he was brought to Abuja. So when the Cybercrime Center called and then they briefed us, I was here in Abuja. In fact, I was the counsel that was with him for the first time he was interrogated. It was until I came to Abuja that he was brought for interrogation. And then we had the first session of interrogation. And then even, I think, the second day I went there, but he wasn't brought out before I left back for Port Harcourt. And when I came back, after a while, I discovered that he appeared to have another counsel. But that's to give you a fact of what I know about his arrest. Okay. And again, he was actually clearly an investigative journalist. I can say that for a fact. His handles were being investigated by the state. And then his activities, of course, weren't initially, it weren't clear whether he was even the PDOM. So when the allegation, he told them, he said that he wasn't PDOM, he was an investigative journalist himself and identified himself as Isaac Bristol, but
so
he wasn't the handler of the PDOM.
Henry, let's get you clearly now. What you're saying now is we are not certain if Isaac Bristol is the same person as Pidomnigeria. Is that what you're saying?
To the extent that I was still in the matter, at the moment, I don't know. It's even on this program here in Nanda, it's been arranged yesterday, but I've given you clearly the extent to which I was in the matter, even when we had the first round of interrogation. He said he never knew anything. He wasn't associated with any PDOM. But he's an investigative journalist.
Okay.
And I think the state was investigating certain handles, and then that were operated, or of course, maybe
talking about the handles now. Talking about the handles now. Right after news went round that PDOM, the person behind the handle, PDOM, was picked up by security agencies, David Hundeyin, who is also a journalist in diaspora, came on X and said, look, that he was aware that PDOM has been picked up, and PDOM actually gave him password to his accounts so he could continue to, use the account to put out information. PDOM also, investigation also revealed that PDOM was on his way to unveiling certain information. Now we have a situation whereby David Hundeyin and one Alade have also been declared wanted. What do you make of all of this? What is is there really a connection? And
see, apparently, for me, on an objective position, as and even the position I hold, I'm sorry, with all modesty, as the National Legal Advisor of the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, the state is still our state. So in my practice, I allow state agents to carry out their investigation. And then it's expected in law that when state agents carry out their investigation, if they come around some evidence that prima facie could establish any allegation, they could go to court and arraign any citizen. And to the extent that I've followed on, even after I left the matter, and to hear now that he's been arraigned, I recall that the second time I was at the center, the cybercrime center, I got this fact. I didn't know that indeed there were these involvements of David Hundeyin or so, who made these revelations that you have just mentioned, to the extent that he was contacted by some individual. And I think it was even on this your program, the last time I was on this program, and he was contacted by some individual with respect to a certain PDOM account and handle, and then put up the bail condition of Isaac Bristol. So to the investigators, that gave them a pointer of a sort, that it meant that the young man they had in custody, even if he had said it wasn't PDOM, and then for Hundeyin's revelations that it appears that they have the right person. But of course, that too wasn't conclusive of their investigation. But there are certain things that I think the state agents would be able to present before the court of what their findings and the outcomes of their investigation will be. I wouldn't be privy about that.
All right then. Okay. Well, we'll just, it's an unfolding story, so we'll keep our eyes on it and see how this one pans out. But we must thank you, and we'll like you to stay with us, Barrister Henry Kine, also Barrister Darlington Agomo, as we get into another conversation. Now we're talking about...
Before you move to another, let it be known to all and sundry that journalists always go with pseudonyms in the line of their duty. Even in the TV and radio presentation, most presenters, they don't bear their name. They go by some
moniker.
Yes. Moniker.
Yes.
Is allowed in their profession. Is that not true? So why didn't you even raise that issue? Because they are, look at what you call the investigative journalism. It's a very risky thing that is into. So why should they let off the secret agent? Do they tell you their business? Did they tell you how they go about their business? So why must you don't want to know your own?
Okay. In light of this, now, before we quickly wrap up, let me come back to Barrister Henry, since he's been directly involved in the case. Barrister, quickly, one more question before we move away from it. There's an allegation that Isaac Bristol, when he was to be arrested, destroyed his mobile phone and refused to give password to his mobile phone. How true is that? And does that constitute preventing investigators from carrying out investigation, according to the law?
Obstructing the course of justice.
Of course, let me first place a caveat that hearing now that the matter has come before the court and being sub judice, and then that he's been arraigned, I think I would only state factual issues that himself had stated. I, to the best of my knowledge, not divulging his evidence, but he actually didn't hide the fact that he was attacked. In the process of that arrest, he said the facts as to how he was terrified, and he had these experiences of some, if you like, assailants attacking him some other time. And then he didn't also deny the fact, it's not coming from me, that of course he had some personal reasons in his phone or personal property in terms of money, actually. So the experience he had was to the effect that if they steal your phone, they can take away your money from your phone.
Okay, so he wasn't certain. So he wasn't certain they were security agents. He just felt he was being attacked.
No, he had said that. Apparently, he had said that all the time, and then so he wasn't going to allow anyone to steal. What did he say? I don't know. Online trading, but I think it was crypto, because he said he deals on crypto as well. So he knew crypto rather, that he knew how much of his crypto he had. So he didn't want anyone to take it. And that's his reason. But like I said again, it's sub judice. The investigators know to what extent they can investigate, but whether that also constitutes destroying evidence, and of course I wouldn't really say how that can be evidence in the first instance for the investigators. It is the investigator that would identify whatever instrument that would have constituted.
All right, we seem to have a breach in connection there. But yeah, I think we have enough information from the barrister to move into the next topic. You want to say something?
Yes.
Okay, in about a minute, please.
Fine. What they did to him is against the law. That is not how to carry out an investigation under the law that I know.
Okay.
You don't attack a suspect. Just look at how Ekweremadu was investigated in the UK. Very seamless, very quiet. They did their job without beating anybody, without attacking anybody. They collected all the evidence they needed. And when it was presented, Ekweremadu have no other choice than to surrender. Is that how he was treated? You don't obtain evidence or information from a suspect under duress. But that's what they have just done. That's what they did. The man said they attacked him, they beat him. How can you not tell me that whatever they are doing now is proper before the law? It's not. You can see where the problem is.
Okay.
So all this thing about treasonable felony, when you want to hang a dog, you give it a bad name. That's just it. Nothing. There's no other way to discuss this matter.
Thank you very, very much. Now let's get into another conversation. FCCPC vows to protect consumers as Presidential Tax Committee molds VAT increase to about 10%.